On the Move by Thom Gunn. The blue jay scuffling in the bushes follows, some hidden purpose and a gust of birds, that spurts across the field, the wheeling swallows, has nested in the trees and undergrowth, seeking their instinct, or their poise, or both. One moves with an uncertain violence, under the dust thrown by a baffled sense, or the dull thunder of approximate words. On motorcycles, up the road they come, small black as flies hanging in the heat, the boys, until the distance throws them forth, their hum, bulges to thunder held by calf and thigh, in goggles done in personality, in gleaming jackets trophied the dust. They strap in doubt by hiding it, robust, and almost hear a meeting of their noise. Exact conclusion of their hardiness has no shape yet, but from known whereabouts they ride, direction where the tires press. They scare a flight of birds across the field. Much that is natural to the will must yield. Men manufacture both machine and soul, and use what they imperfectly control to dare to future from the taken routes. It is a part solution after all. One is not necessarily discord on earth or damned because half animal, one lacks direct instinct, because one wakes, afloat on the movement that divides and breaks. One joins the movement in a valueless world, choosing it till both hurler and the hurled. One moves as well, always toward. A minute holds them who have come to go, the self-defied, astride, and created will. They burst away, the towns they travel through are home for neither birds nor holiness. For birds and saints complete their purposes. At worst, one is in motion, and at best, reaching no absolute in which to rest. One is always near by not keeping still.
In this poem, the speaker addresses the inability for humans to stay still and reach a destination by comparing their movement to the seemingly instinctive movement of blue jays, swallows, and a gang of motorcyclists. The theme of the poem is people are unable to stand still and they are constantly searching for something unattainable. This can be seen in lines 40, for example, one is always nearer by not keeping still. Also, in line 32, one moves as well, always toward.
We found that the subject of the poem could be humanity in general, and that it did have a lyrical suggestion because of the consistent end rhyme.
We found the tone to be one of confusion, question, and wonder, as seen in lines 27 through 28. One lacks direct instinct because one wakes afloat on movement that divides and breaks. Here, the speaker discusses man's unknown journey, which leads to a confused and questioning tone.
The point of view in the poem is third-person objective. The writer tells what happens without stating more than can be inferred from the story's action and dialogue. The speaker, never discloses anything about what the characters think or feel, remaining a detached observer. This can be seen in line 6. One moves with an uncertain violence.
We found two forms of verbal irony within the poem. One of them is found in line 10. Small black as flies hanging in the heat, the boys. Here, the speaker compares male bikers to flies. We also found an example in lines 38 through 40. At worst, one is in motion, and at best, reaching no absolute in which to rest. One is always near by not keeping still. Here, the speaker is comparing at worst versus at best, which we found to be verbal irony as well.
The diction within this poem is about 50% concrete and 50% abstract. In stanza 1, it is clear that it is more concrete, being more literal, and in stanza 5, it is more abstract, being more figurative.
Allusions.
Throughout the poem, there are biblical allusions. Words that suggest this are holiness, damned, and saints, found lines 36, 27, and also 36 again. Some denotation that can be found in the poem can be seen in line 32. The word toward denotates the referring to the movement of the motorcyclists towards their indefinite destination. Also, some connotation with the word bird. Bird connotates a free-spirited creature, sometimes in a large group, traveling into the sky. Gunn uses it several times, connotating the free, vast openness of the motorcyclist's path and search for discovery. A quote, "They ride directions where the tires press."
Steps, just because I like her.
In stanza 1, one can notice kinesthetic imagery, such as the blue jay scuffling in the bushes follows some hidden purpose, and the gust of birds that spurts across the field, the wheeling swallows. In the second stanza, one can notice visual imagery, such as small black as flies hanging in the heat, the boys until the distance throws them forth, their hum. These two types of imagery allows the reader to further visualize the scenes and further portrays theme through detailed descriptions.
We found the entirety of the poem to be a metaphor, as the motorcyclists symbolize humanity in general. We also found a simile in line 10 as the speaker compares the motorcyclist jackets to black flies, using the word as. We also found a few examples of personification within the poem. One example is in line 7, as it says, "under the dust thrown by a baffled sense." We found this to be personification, as a sense can't actually be baffled or throw dust. We also found an example of overstatement in line 14 when the speaker says, "in gleaming jackets trophied with dust." We found this to be an overstatement, as the jackets aren't actually gleaming or trophied.
The speaker uses onomatopoeias in the first stanza with words such as scuffling and spurts. Alliterations can be found on lines 31, choosing it till both hurler and the hurled. Also on line 26, men manufacture both machine and soul.
End rhyme can be found in lines 1 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 9 and 11. Although found throughout the entire poem, an example of this in lines 1 and 3 is follows and swallows. The poem consists of 40 lines with 5 stanzas, 8 lines in each stanza.